What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. In today's video, gonna go over the trades that we took today inside the Discord, as well as the game plan going into tomorrow. So today, when it came to SPY, you could see right off of open, this is what we looked like. So we ended up gapping up a little bit. You could see the contracts ended up spiking to like 166. And going into today, market was bullish. Why? This 10 SMA is above the 50. 50 trending up hard. That means we're in a bullish market. And you can see what happened every time we dip to this 50. Dip gets bought, dip gets bought, dip gets bought. So that's how we kind of read this chart. This 50 SMA is a key pivot point. You guys been watching the videos, you guys know that, but just for anyone that's new, this 50 SMA is our pretty much make or break point when it comes to the trend in the market. So market's been bullish the last couple of days, and you can see it's very clear. 10 SMA crossed the 50, every dip to the 50 just got soaked up. And then when we go to the higher time frames, same thing kind of applies. 1 hour ended up crossing, dips got bought, 2 hour ended up crossing, and that dip got bought. And we came into a big point today. So this 4 hour chart is starting to set up for a cross, but at the same time, we do have this daily 50 SMA, which we did end up hitting today, and we did see a little bit of a drop off of open because that's where we ended up hitting some resistance. Right off of open, we hit that daily 50. I went over this in yesterday's video, or not yesterday's video, the last video I posted, didn't have one up yesterday, but I told you guys that daily 50 is a spot where we could see some sort of reaction from and maybe see a move down. But overall, bigger picture, I still do favor the bulls. You know, even though we are at this daily 50, yes, we could maybe see a pullback initially, but I feel like eventually we will get that cross on this chart and see even higher. But again, that's just what I think. I'm not, positioned for that. That's just kind of my thoughts. So when it came to SPY today, there was absolutely no opportunity at all. So when we pull up the 0DT charts, we only use the 5-minute for this. I see some people sometimes getting confused because they see my SPY chart on the 0DTs and they think it translates to individual stocks, but it doesn't. So when it comes to SPY, 5-minute time frame is for the 0DT chart that we use to day trade. When it comes to individual stocks, I only look at the 30-minute and higher because we're playing the weeklies. It's the same concept as we're looking at these Friday charts right here. 30-minute time frame is what I'm focused on because that tells me the trend. So when it comes to individual stocks, doing the same thing. I'm looking at the 30-minute trend because there's not 0DT charts for like individual stocks. So I'm just playing the swings. You could do the same thing on SPY. If we get across in the weeklies, you could buy these dips to the 50 and swing them. I mean, it's the same thing. I personally just don't do it with SPY. I prefer to day trade it and then swing other stocks, but I mean, that's just kind of what I prefer. You could do whatever you want, but yeah, when it came to SPY today, you could just see market was bullish. Wasn't any opportunity because, like I said, when we go to the 0DT chart, there was no cross at all. You can see right after open, right here at 9:30, nothing happened. We didn't get this cross here on the calls, and rest of the day there was no cross on the call side. Same thing applied to the put side. We pull up the puts here. Same thing. There was no cross, no 10 crossing the 50. Right off of open, we ended up opening down in here. Chop, 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 hit the 50. Chop, 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 hit the 50. And I mean, there was nothing to take. This is the great thing about the system. When the market doesn't move, there's not going to be a trade. You can see this chop. Who wants to be in a trade during this chop? No one. So that's where the system kind of comes into play and helps us, see that, okay, there's no trades given by the system today, and in turn, market was just chopping around back and forth. No big moves made. So that's where the system just really does help you in knowing when to trade and when not to trade. Because today there was no good moves in the market, and in turn, there was no trade to take by the system, given by the system. So that's what happened in terms of SPY today. I am in a decent amount of swings right now. I'm not gonna lie. There's a lot of good-looking setups. I didn't take this, but you guys remember from last week I did share this one. OKLO has been going crazy. I mean, geez, man. Look at this chart on OKLO. This is just a wild chart. This is actually for the 12th, so I actually have the wrong contracts up. But I think I did have them on my watch list. Give me 1 second. Okay, yeah, here's the chart. That was the I had that on my watch list from last week. But yeah, OKLO. You guys know we ended up playing this, but look at the move. I mean, this is just historic. I mean, we got the cross all the way back in here. We ended up taking this last week, and we caught an instant like 100. I think what was it, 160% or something like that. And I mean, this just continued. I mean, geez. I mean, you can see we got the cross. I entered somewhere on a dip last week. It was probably on one of these candles down in here, but yeah, we got the cross, and look at the move. I mean, these contracts went 0.4, like they 20x almost, which is kind of crazy. 20x on the cross from OKLO, but obviously, you're not going to hold that whole move, but just an example of how powerful these crosses do get. And then you can see every other time frame at the same time was crossing, and that's where those significant moves do come from. You know, 4 hour ended up breaking and crossing. Same thing, daily chart starting to cross. But yeah, OKLO was an absolute heater of a move. Obviously, I didn't swing that after when I took it, whatever day it was last week. But yeah, crazy move from the cross. Amazon, this is something I took today. It was a break-even trade for me. So I saw this chart crossing here, 10 crossing the 50. But it was just stalling too much up in here. And then when I started to look at the higher time frames, I'm like, you know what? I think it's best for me just to cut this because we're at the 1 hour 50. We're at the 2 hour 50 right here. 2 hour 50. We're at the 4 hour 50 as well. That's crossing negative here. And then we're also, I think, at the daily 50. Okay, we're not at the daily 50, but we were at all those other time frame 50 SMAs, and I just felt that since it wasn't getting its move yet, I'm just going to get out. There was a decent gap from where price was and the 50 at the same time, so I'm like, you know what, smart thing to do here, just cut it and move on to the next trade. So ended up stopping out of that for break even. But Amazon, you know, I'm probably not going to end up taking this just because we are at those higher time frame areas. I'd want to see those break first and then buy a 50 dip from there. So that wasn't the best trade at all by me from Amazon. Apple was a really good one, but I didn't end up playing this because I just moved too quick. It was right off of open, but you can see where these contracts ended up opening at. So right off of open, if we just go to the 1 minute here, I don't trade the 1 minute, but just to give you reference of where we opened at. So contracts ended up opening and closing the first minute at 131. So when we go to the 30 minute here, if you ended up getting in at like 131, I mean, because we did just cross 10 above the 50 started curling up right here into the close yesterday, so you could have honestly took this yesterday, but you could see 131 all the way up to 324, really fast move. In like an hour you had been paid. But yeah, that's just the concept of these crosses. All we're doing is playing the 10 crossing the 50, and it's as simple as that. It's the same types of trades. Every single trade that I'm showing you, it's either a cross or we're buying the dip in the trend at the 50 SMA. It's not that hard to really understand. You just have to know kind of what you know, the time frames you want to be using and how to use them in your benefit. Like when all the time frames are crossing at once, that's super bullish, and you know, those are things that you'll just learn as you trade the system. But it's actually a trade I'm in right now. I literally picked this up right at the close. 10 SMA crossing the 50 here on MSTR. Looks really good. Hopefully it doesn't gap down too much to where this just pushes away and doesn't cross. But yeah, MSTR, I really like this one. 10 SMAs crossing the 50. And then we have the, we are at some resistance, I'm not going to lie. But we did hit it quite a bit. So I'm taking the chance here on this cross. I mean, it looks really good as long as there's not a big gap down. I would think this is going to continue higher. PDD, really good setup as well that I'm in. 10 SMA here crossing the 50 on the daily chart. On the monthly contracts is a significant trend change that's happening right now on PDD. So again, over the next couple days, couple weeks, I expect this to go higher. So we are in a swing for that. TEM didn't add this one back yet, but still looks good. We're initially getting this cross. 10 crossing the 50. I want to see this 50 curl up a little bit more to take an entry on this, but that's something you guys could watch for over the next day or two to see if that 50 does curl up and you could get an entry on it. But you know, 10, I really like this one, and we are currently still in SoFi, which I could pull up really quickly here of what this looks like. You could see we took this on Friday, I believe. Yeah, 9/12 we ended up taking this, and we got a big gap up yesterday. Still holding this because it looks really good. 10 crossed the 50, and we got back about the 10 SMA, and the higher time frames look really good on this. So that's one that I'm holding over the next couple days, and I think we're up like 40% right now on the moment. And I did take a trim, added my trim back today on a dip, and it's looking pretty good. So that's what we look like for those, and that's pretty much what we did today. I mean, there's a lot of good, good looking setups. Another one I guess I could just share with you guys is JD. If we pull up here, JD 35s for October, same thing happening. 10 crossing the 50. Hasn't crossed yet, but I'm pretty sure this will end up crossing. I mean, probably tomorrow or the next day. So watch for the chart to cross. I'm already in some, so if you guys want to tail it, you could. I mean, these are pretty much free plays I'm giving you, so entry is all up to you. And you know, that's why I had the premium Discord to share those entries of exactly what I'm taking. So that's pretty much the game plan of what we did for, not the game plan, that's pretty much what we did this week or today when it comes to individual stocks, and yesterday. And then for SPY tomorrow, we have FOMC. So what I'm looking for tomorrow is probably a cross on the call side, and I'm not really too interested in playing the downside yet unless, you know, we start breaking those higher time frame 50 SMAs on SPY. But FOMC tomorrow, probably, you know, I wouldn't expect anything too crazy when it comes to the morning, just because we have, you know, news waiting in the afternoon. So I'm not expecting anything crazy, like I said. So that's the game plan. If you guys enjoyed, drop a sub if you guys want to learn. Join the Discord down below. And yeah, I'm out. Peace.